Hello everybody! How are you all doing today? Happy October, everybody! I love October. Love. It's my favorite month. It is the best month ever, and do not challenge me on this because honestly, it is. A, it is my birthday month. B, comfort food. C, pumpkins. D, scary movies. Scary movies are my favorite thing. I feel like Halloween is a favorite holiday for a lot of book lovers because it's kind of an excuse to get really invested and obsess over different fictional stories and movies and characters for a whole month. It's just like the one time of year where it's not just book nerds that are fantasizing about fictional characters and dressing up like fictional characters and watching a bunch of movies and reading books. Anyway, I could go on and on about why I love October. Unfortunately, that's not what today's video is about. We're talking about September today. Let's get on to today's actual video topic. It is my September wrap-up video. Yay! I'm gonna stop chit-chatting. Why don't we just go ahead and get into the book. The first and most exciting book that I read in September by far, by far. Empire of Storms by Sarah J. Maas. Oh boy. Oh boy. If you guys have read this book, you may or may not have watched the vlog that I did on it. I basically vlogged my entire experience reading it and fangirled for 20 minutes or something ridiculous. Let's just say that it was the most amazing book that I have read in a long time. For those of you who are new to my videos, just know that if you haven't read the Throne of Glass series by Sarah J. Maas, definitely do so because you won't regret it. It's an awesome fantasy book about an assassin and there's so much to it. Those of you who have read this book, I am sure you will, well, I hope many of you will agree that this was so mind-blowingly fantastic. Sarah J. Maas does it again. You can go ahead and watch my vlog if you have read this. And yeah, I say everything in that video, so go and check that out. I'll leave a link in the description down below. And the next book that I read in September was A Torch Against the Night by Sabaa Tahir. This is the sequel to An Ember in the Ashes, and for those of you who don't know what that is, this is An Ember in the Ashes. Look at its pretty cover. I love this book. This is a wonderful fantasy book. It's kind of a complex plot, but I did do a book review on it if you would like to check that out. It was a long time ago, so it's kind of weird, but I'll put the link in the description down below if you want to go watch that. I had to stop midway through and read some other books because I felt myself getting into a reading slump with this one, but I picked it back up and read the rest of it, and I do think it is a good book, and I think that if I was judging this book solely on its own without, having read the first one, then I would be like, oh, that's a good book. But because I read the first book and it was so brilliant, I just personally feel like this book really didn't live up to the excellence that is the first book. And with that being said, I still do want to continue this series because I am attached to the characters at this point, and I really love Sabaa Tahir's writing, so I think that this may just be a it's me not you type of thing. So I wouldn't let what I'm saying put you off from reading the sequel because I know so many people really loved it. I do want to continue the series because it is an epic series. The next book that I read in September, I just uploaded a book review on, so you guys can go watch that. It is such a good book, and that is Rebel of the Sands by Alwyn Hamilton. Now, let's just take a moment to appreciate the gloriousness, that's definitely not a word, of this cover. I have to admit, the cover is what initially drew me to this book because I definitely judge books by their cover. It is a fantasy book and it takes place in a world that has a very interesting thing going on. Basically, this world has a Western theme, but with Middle Eastern influence. It was really cool and it just flowed together really nicely. I absolutely loved the setting of this book. It was super unique, as was the writing and the overall plot. I just thought that this entire book was very original. It is about a girl named Amani who is an orphan and she's living with her aunt and her uncle. Her aunt is really mean and her uncle is planning on marrying her. So she basically wants to get the heck out of her town, and I do not blame her. She is actually a sharpshooter and she has perfect aim and she's awesome, and sometimes at night she actually dresses up like a boy and goes to shooting contests. During one of these shooting contests, she meets this other boy who thinks she's a boy, and together they decide to flee the town together. So that is the gist of this story. Of course, a lot more happens in it, and basically the plot centers around Amani and this boy's adventure as they're fleeing all these bad guys. I just loved this book so much. I thought it was really awesome. So if you guys want to hear me talk more about it, I did do a review just a couple days ago, so I'll leave the link in the description. And lastly is a book that I am super excited about. I'm actually currently reading it, so I haven't finished it yet, but thank God I finally decided to pick this book up. Everybody has been telling me to read it for the longest time, and it's just one of those situations where I just didn't listen because I'm stupid. And that is Cinder by Marissa Meyer. This book is definitely up my alley, so all of you guys that were telling me that, you are right. This book is a retelling of Cinderella, but what is unique about this book is that the main protagonist, who is Cinderella, is actually a cyborg. It takes place in New Beijing, where humans and androids basically coexist. I am not even far in this book yet, and I'm already hooked. I just really like the writing style. Just something about the way that Marissa Meyer writes the interactions between the characters and stuff that just like is really entertaining. I don't know, and I just really like the overall vibe of this book. I'm really excited to find out what this book kind of turns into because I really have no clue. I have been, not gonna lie, I have been sneaking this book into class with me. I sit in the very back of my lecture halls and I just pretend like I'm taking notes, but like really, I'm reading Cinder. Don't judge me. I am not a bad student. I'm a very good student. When you have college classes from 8 a.m. to 9 p.m., sometimes you just have to do what you gotta do, you know? You just gotta do what you gotta do. Those are all of the books that I read in September. Overall, I would say it was a pretty good reading month for me, but I have to say that October is going to be 1,000 times better because I don't know about you guys, but like I always feel like reading way more when it's the fall. I don't know why. It's just something about the mood of fall just makes me want to curl up and read more books, and that's all I want to do. I plan on reading a lot of spooky books this month, or like, you know, suspenseful ones, just because I'm definitely the kind of person who likes to match what books I read with whatever season I'm in. I'm really excited to read some thrillers and some creepy books, and I probably also will be reading a lot of fantasy just because I read a lot of high fantasy during this time of year. Before I wrap things up, please let me know in the comments below, how many books did you read in September? Which book was your favorite? And with that being said, I think I'm going to wrap things up today. So I hope that you guys enjoyed today's video. If you did, please give it a big thumbs up. I hope that y'all go and have yourselves a fabulous day, and I will see you guys next time.